On today's content, we're gonna be toying around with custom critical strike Volatile Death. I mean, technically it's Cyclone, custom crit, desecrate and Volatile Death, but in reality the start of the show is Volatile Death. That probably came out as a mouthful, and if that's the case, pardon me. So let's talk about custom critical strike. What's today's actual deal? This precise setup has been making rounds recently in the community and it seemed like a lot of fun, so I decided to give it a try, spicing it in my own way. The skill that is gonna be serving as a base is Cyclone, and if I'm being totally honest, I think Cyclone is probably the best way to play custom crit regardless of the spells you wanna cast. Coming back to the COC setup, we're gonna be using Volatile Death as our DPS spell. Volatile Death detonates a corpse and creates a ball that deals fire damage and seeks out nearby enemies. Let's highlight that statement. Volatile Death detonates a corpse and creates a ball that seeks out nearby enemies. VD is a very interesting spell because while it doesn't really hit super hard, you're not creating one ball every couple seconds. You're creating a bunch of them at a time, and say one of them is hitting for around 50k damage. If you have 10 of them seeking out targets and they all hit the same unfortunate enemy, that's 500,000 damage. Now that's probably not the way the damage dealt by VD is calculated, but it sure as hell feels that way. Because we need as many corpses as possible to create our balls, we need a corpse creation spell. I recommend using Desecrate instead of Unearth, and that is because Desecrate spawns 5 corpses immediately, while Unearth fires a projectile that creates a single corpse on impact. In order for Unearth to create multiple corpses, it needs multiple projectiles linked to it. That's a waste of links in my opinion. However, if I have to be honest with you, there's a couple of obstacles one has to overcome if you wanna play with this setup. First thing is, and this may be more quality of life than anything else, but maybe you want a helmet with the enchantment Volatile Death consumes up to 1 additional corpse. The more balls that you're creating, the better for both clearing and single target damage. Those helmets are not cheap, that's at least 2 Exiles. Optimally, you'd want an Elder Base helmet so that you can have added fire damage to spells or conk effect for the area damage. Either of these mods are gonna be increasing your DPS. I tried farming the enchantment and did not get it after a couple tries, so I gave up, caved in and traded for a regular helmet with it. The next hurdle is we're playing custom critical strike. We need a lot of crit to make this feel smooth. At the same time, we also want plenty of attack speed so that spells are getting casted as soon as possible. My current character hits 68% crit chance with charges, and with a diamond flask I think the crit sits at around 85%, yet I still feel like we could be using more crit on this build. I'm also not playing a character that has a lot of crit modifiers, I'm playing a Hierophant. I took the Hierophant because it has free arcane surge on spell hits, endurance charge on power charge generation, and some damage mitigation. With all honesty, you're probably better off playing an assassin, a trickster, an elementalist, a pathfinder, a scion, or hell even an inquisitor. You could argue that there is a lot of flexibility on character options, and you wouldn't be wrong. Besides all of this, I went big brain with the gear setup, and what I mean by this is that I'm trying to get the most out of everything I got equipped. For example, originally I meant to be using Surge Binders with an attack crit chance corruption implicit, but while leveling I equipped Maligaro's Virtuosity and have not taken them off. And there is a good reason as to why. These latex gloves got changed on this patch, and instead of having some crit multiplier, now they lock your total crit multi to 300%. Reductions will do nothing against the lock, but you won't be going above that number either. In case you were thinking about it, no, you cannot use Elemental Overload with this. Since I'm using Maligaro's Virtuosity, I don't need any crit multiplier on the tree nor on the gear, and I can focus everything else around crit chance, accuracy and defenses. However, the multiplier is only 300%, and you can argue that you could invest into having more than that. Personally, I went with the budgety version, and that involves the Maligaro's latex gloves. Also, since I touched on defenses, there are gonna be scars on this side of the tree, so if your gear doesn't have enough life or other damage mitigations, getting hit is going to make you cry. In my opinion, I'd like to have at least 6k HP, but I'm not sitting there, and that kinda annoys me just a tiny little bit. Finally, there is one last obstacle, and that is performance. This build is a bit tough on my PC, and I'm pretty sure some people are gonna have a hard time playing with a similar one. I haven't done a blighted map yet, and I plan to try one later this week before the guide is posted. My PC is not looking forward to it, but I gotta try for science. Talking about guides, there is more to the gear I'm using and the playstyle, but that's gonna be for another video. I'm still experimenting with some things here and there, and I think I can get away with some stuff, but I need to test that out. So yeah, this character has been a super fun mess so far. Clearing maps is disgustingly fast, my PC cries when I play it, so it may have limited viability. I wanted to talk about this guy on today's video because I found him very enjoyable, leveling him was an absolute blast, and I felt like sharing some initial thoughts on him. With all that said, that's gonna be for me today. Keep an eye out on the guide on him because it's gonna be a doozy. So yeah, again, as with all my content, remember to subscribe, rate and comment, and be sure to tune in next time when cock and balls are not the only thing your PC should be worried about. Bye!